System curtailed.
I've sent a specialization supply drop your way.
An agent needs assistance. System disrupted. Good. Agent down. Rogue explosive seeker mine detected.
No one's retreating. The fight continues. There are no more rogue reinforcements. Eliminate whoever's left.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I could do this all day. You're dead! Shit! Stuck! Enemy's coming around! Reposition, damn it! Angle. I hit him! Reloading!
Serious trauma detected.
Taking serious. All talk, no guts.
What's up agents, Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. Today's video is going to be a very special one. It is going to be the Status King build. This is perfect for console players. I used to be a console player and I can tell you now this is going to be very strong in PvP and in PvE. For PC, works extremely well. Also, let me know if you guys are a console player and you give this build a try. I am very keen to learn or to find out how strong it actually is. The reason why I'm saying that is because you can put someone on the burn, the bleed, and the blind with 2 bullets of your pestilence or your weapon. And then when they're on fire, you swap to your pyromaniac and absolutely burst them down to ashes. It's really, really fun. We are tanky, we have high armor regen. It's a very strong build, and I was originally going to make this a PvE build. I've been working on it for about a week and a half, and then I took it into conflict. And I got 12 kills the first match, next match 9. It absolutely destroys in conflict. The reason why is because if you come into a fight, you don't have a shield, because I was using the Pestilence like you saw in the gameplay. Someone will pull out their shield, you tap them once in the face, and they are just confused. They are looking all over the place because they are on the blind. We get huge amounts of damage because we've applied a status effect. Then once you've done that, you put them on the bleed, then they can't run away, and then they actually get burnt from the holster, and then you swap to a Pyromaniac and finish them off. It is a very effective way, and each one has about a 30-second cooldown, and the backpack talent lasts for 27 seconds, the damage. So we're going to constantly have huge damage, high armor regen, and be able to have a lot of fun in PvE and in PvP. Let's get straight into this. So specialization, you can go for Technician, but I've gone for Firewall because I want to utilize the Pyromaniac a bit more to have my burn duration. 20% burn duration is a long time. It's a bit of a shame that Armor Break applies to burn to enemy within 5 meters. It's not more in PvE, but in PvP it's been disabled. Don't forget that, for good measure, because it was very toxic. Make sure LMG damage and assault rifle damage is on. You can use whatever gun you want though, but I do recommend these two because damage over time is really good with the Pestilence, and I'll show you just now. Everything else, make sure it is active. So the whole point of this build is to utilize high armor regeneration, constantly get our armor back, running around, strafing perhaps, putting the enemy on fire when we get near them. I'll explain how the holster works now because it has changed. Shooting them in the chest, putting them on the bleed, shooting them in the face, putting them on the blind. The enemy just gets, they just start backtracking. The damage that you get is huge when you stack all of these things together because of the backpack talent that we have. I know what you guys are thinking, Eclipse backpack, why aren't you using the Eclipse protocol one piece? And I'll explain that when we get to the bag. So Perfectly Wicked procs, we have 18% weapon damage for 27 seconds. 27 seconds is a long time, and they're not going to be on the status effect for that long. So that's why I've gone for the bag talent, but we'll go through different ways you can change this build up, especially because of the bag. I will show a different variation for possibly more damage. So let's go through each individual piece. So you can use this build however you want. This is how I do it. So I see an enemy, a lot of guys are holding shields. You know what it's like these days. They're holding a shield out, you pop him in the face, he's on the blind, you get that extra damage, you rush him, you put the damage on the shield, and you can even run away and the guy will die from it because of the damage increases. Now once the blind is gone, you can put him on the bleed, then he can't run away. When he starts to run away, because he can't, he gets put on fire from the holster, you swap to the Pyromaniac and do 25% weapon damage. So you can see where this is coming from, and we have nice damage and high survivability with this build because of the gloves and the 43k armor regen. There's various ways you can change this. Remember, like I always say, use my builds, adjust them to suit your playstyle. Always adapt them, use them as a template. So let's go through it completely. 1.4 million armor, I see, seems to be quite a decent amount. You could go for another blue there, 100% up to you. It could work, especially on console. You can run circles around people, your armor regenerates. You keep ticking them with the Pestilence. I know a lot of you guys love using the Pestilence, as do I. So let's go through the pieces now. Well, before we do, let's just go through the weapons. So the Pestilence is something that is very good. So you a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. I enjoy this with the Striker 3-piece. If you guys haven't tried that, have a look. I did make a build about that. Link will be in the description. This is a very strong weapon. It deals damage to armor as well, which stacks upon the gloves. So that's 6% plus an additional 8. So don't be fooled. That's a lot of damage to their armor. So you can get through enemies' armor, or agents' armor, or NPCs' armor very strong. It's just all-round status effect. The utility is scary. So like I said, you don't have to use this as a secondary, but the Pyromaniac is good to swap to, and you can deal 25% weapon damage to burning enemies. So the amount of damage is quite insane. In PvE, you could actually just use this gun and always be proccing the fire. It's really strong. So make sure you guys get it. Roll damage targets out of cover, and then we want to put crit chance. I think I have about 60% crit chance on this build as well, which is nice. The Pestilence, I think I have about 50, but it's up to your rolls and what kind of stats you want to be putting. Maybe more armor regen on each piece. It's completely up to you. Like over here, I can roll armor regen on my mask. I've got hazard protection because I want it to be a little bit tankier with hazard protection. I've got on my knee pads, my backpack, and my mask. So you can go for way more armor regen than what I have now. You can acquire huge amounts of armor regen because of the 2-piece Golan, which also increases our status effect. We'll get there. I'm rushing ahead of time. So pistol, whatever you want. Let's go over the mask. So we've got the Golan 2-piece status effect, which increases the burn, blind, and bleed duration and damage. So don't forget that. Very important. The more status effect, the better. So like I said, you can even go for more skill power or more status effect rolled on your gear pieces. There's so many ways that this can go. Roll armor regen if you don't want hazard protection, but it helps when you push in enemies. because we are quite squishy, but I think with this build, if I wanted to, I could mod it differently. I've got almost 50% hazard protection, which is a nice balance between the armor regen and the Hasbro. You can see where I've taken this, so it's completely up to you. You can put more mods for ensnare resistance and be completely immune if you really wanted to. Also, the holster rolls hazard protection as well, so it kind of matches this build. So the chest piece, I've gone for the one piece for more armor regen. I want to be able to heal myself. I don't have any other way. I want to be able to survive, especially if you want to take this solo in the DZ. We've got headshot damage, crit chance, which is nice because headshot damage means there's more incentive to go for the head, especially because of the blind. Armor regen, roll armor on everything, guys. Crit chance mods, because we want to get the pestilence as high amounts of crit chance as possible. It is not important though. You don't have to go for crit chance. You can go for anything else. Like I said, ensnare resistance, burn resistance, bleed resistance is completely up to you. So yeah, make sure you guys have trauma. This is why this build works so well. So we've got 2 ways, okay? 2 different cooldowns. That's 30 seconds for the blind, 30 seconds for the bleed. Now the backpack talent lasts 27 seconds. So you see where I'm going with this. It's not just about the damage, it's about the utility. This will put, you know, when your screen goes white, that's what happens when they get put in the blind. And if they don't have hazard protection, they're a walking target. It's easy. They're potatoes. You run up to them, you blast them, they're dead. The bleed is also quite nice. It's not as powerful as the blind, if you ask me, but a good player can shoot you through the blind, so just be cautious. So once you've modded with crit chance or whatever you want, like I said, let's move over to the holster. Imperial Dynasty. So this has been changed. It used to work way far away from the enemies. It's changed in PvP, but in PvE it's the same, while in combat applies burn to the enemy closest to you within 20 meters. In PvP you have to be a bit closer and within a range. So imagine there's an invisible red line from you to the enemy. In PvP, sorry, don't forget, in PvP this is how it works. So you need to actually be in front of the other person for it to proc. You don't have to face them, but you need to be within about, I would say 10, 50 meters. I don't think it's 20. It could be, but you need to be like sighted. You can't be behind a wall and it procs, from what I believe, from what I've seen through testing. So it's still really good. You put them on fire and then you swap to your pyro and you take advantage of that. We also have another way of putting them on fire from the fire sticky bomb also, so that's really nice. Status effect with Hasbro. Make sure this is rolled up. Very nice. It just works great with this build. Backpack's going to be the Anarchist Cookbook. Why? Because it's a perfectly wicked with the golden gear, which is very important. Now you're probably wondering, why don't you run Eclipse Protocol with the blue? That is completely up to you. Hear me out. So I've gone for this because I wanted to run Contractor's Gloves, and without that I wouldn't be getting the extra armor regen. So you need to decide what you want to do. Do you want more damage? Because you will get more damage, but with the Eclipse Backpack, which gives you 30% amplified damage, which is a lot, it only applies when the enemy is on status effect. The damage we get from this lasts 27 seconds and it's just damage all the time. So you can see why I've chosen this, but if you wanted to go for an all-out damage build, you can go for the Eclipse Protocol Backpack. It will proc every time you shoot an enemy, so this will be extremely powerful with this. This is the only piece that I would consider swapping out with the Golden Gear bag. So just keep that in mind. Maybe for PvP, put Eclipse on. PvE, put Anarchist Cookbook. It's up to you guys. Go crazy and enjoy it. So I've gone for hazard protection, crit chance mods. Very, very nice. With armor rolls as well. I do have blue Petrov gloves. I decided to go for red. Crit chance, damage to armor. Very nice. Make sure you guys use these Contractor's Gloves. Amazing. Huge amounts of damage to the enemy's armor. And we get an extra 10% LMG damage, making my Pestilence 77k, which doesn't seem like much, but the ticks are quite high. Then we've got the knee pads, obviously Murakami, the named one, Emperor's Guard. You can get it from the DZ. I think it's Murakami targeted loot right now, so go farm them. Hazard protection I've got on mine. It'll be nice to have armor regen ones, but I don't have them unfortunately. Roll armor there as well. Then with the skills, you can use whatever, bleed hive, it's up to you. I use this beautiful burn status effect, which is a burn sticky bomb. Now remember, here's a little trick. When you shoot this, don't blow it up immediately. Wait a couple of seconds and it burns the enemy quite a lot, and then blow it up. A lot of people use this incorrectly. Don't just shoot it and blow it up. Let the burn happen and then blow it up. It does huge amounts of damage. Swap to your Pyromaniac and go crazy. So let's go through the second skill now. So you can use a Defender Drone because we don't have a shield. This has saved me quite a bit, especially the players who rush you with Lady Death. It's not easy. It's probably better to kind of keep medium range, especially when you're fighting other teams, but the utility is great. So mod these skills with whatever you want. I would go for Sticky Bomb, burn duration and damage, and the Hive I'd go for just, sorry, not the Hive, the drone. Probably, let's have a look. Health, armor repair doesn't actually work with that. I don't have the right mods for my drone for some reason. Health does work with this. And then deflect duration would probably be better. But yeah, it seems like the UI is a bit incorrect there. So go for deflect duration. It's completely up to you what skills you have. Let's go through the stats and have a look. So crit chance 50%, which is not bad. We swap to the assault rifle, it's 60, so we do have max crit chance. The headshot damage is not bad. It's nothing to laugh at. The crit damage is high as well. Remember, we'll be getting a lot more weapon damage from this build. I'm going to scroll through. Headshot damage 93%. Don't forget about the armor damage, which is very strong. We've got extra accuracy and stability. Remember, my watch is maxed out, so don't forget about that. You guys can scroll through this. Well, I will scroll through it, and you pause the video if you want to see any other stats. Armor regen 43k. Remember, you can roll more, but I've gone for a bit of hazard protection to have a balance. You can get over 50k, so just go for that if you guys want to. Then go through there. Skill haste cooldown, it's not great, but the damage is still high. 240k in PvP plus the burn. Then yeah, that's going to be it. So like I said before, I actually do have an Eclipse bag over here, so you guys will probably, it's rolled a red on it, but you can see where I'm coming from, the reason why I utilize that. I've got this bag here with weapon handling, which could work well with the pestilence as well. It makes the reticle smaller, which allows me to hit my shots easier, especially headshots. So this will give you amplified damage, 30%. Go for this if you want to give it a try. But if you want more armor regen, more survivability, because this makes up for the damage as well, and without that you would kind of be lost with the armor regen. You could take this away, but then your armor damage will be lower. But you know what, it's completely up to you guys. You will do more damage with this, but remember, you are also missing another attribute. So this works great. I really do love the way this works. If you guys didn't know that you can use the backpack talent, I'm glad I got to show you something. So it works great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments with this build. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite PvP builds right now, and in PvE. And with that being said, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll be seeing everybody in the next video. Peace out, agents.